How to make your first million. What did you dream of when you were a kid? Did you dream of having a career, being a police officer or firefighter? Maybe you dreamed of being a doctor after your parents bought you that play stethoscope, or becoming a lawyer after watching hundreds of episodes of Law and Order, The Practice, or Ally McBeal. You daydreamed about buying fancy clothes, snazzy cars, and owning a penthouse apartment with a fantastic view, or a mansion with quite a few acres of land and a fantastic view. But, did you ever dream of becoming a millionaire? Not by hoping that Publishers Clearinghouse would come to your door with their smiling faces, balloons, and bouquet of flowers, but by actually doing something that you could make $1 million or more. Well, if you have dreamt of becoming a millionaire, and have a burning desire to make your first million, listen to this podcast. Do you have what it takes to be a millionaire? The road to achieving that goal has had mixed reviews of how to begin and how hard or easy it is. The first step is assessing who you are, and do you have what it takes in you. You may want to really pay attention to what it takes and see if you have the qualities that are necessary, or if you don't have all the qualities, what you can do to improve those weaknesses, so you can push forward in pursuit of your goal. Most people dream of becoming millionaires. That's not the problem. The problem is that those people who have that dream don't all come from wealthy backgrounds. Because of that type of environment, and the unsupportive people they're surrounded by, they are told their goal is not realistic, and for the most part, their dreams are squashed and put down by others. This usually leads to self-doubt, focus on the obstacles and limitations, real or perceived, that crop up and create negative thoughts, and finally, the dream dissolves. When you first think about it, making a net worth of $1 million may seem inaccessible, but it's a lot more attainable than you think. The income that you make annually plays a part, but the way you distribute your money matters more than your salary. You can grow your wealth to $1 million when you create a proper plan, have a solid work ethic, and have dependable, responsible spending habits and savvy investing. Here's where you can change that path. If you admit to the positive path you want to take, and not the path the naysayers think you should follow, but the path you make for yourself, then doing so is the first step, albeit small, that you can make. Rather than writing off the possibility of achieving your goal and listening to the advice of those who aspire to failure, you must believe it can happen to you. The steps you should take towards making your first million. Write your goals down. It may seem strange to some, but writing down your goals is the first step in creating your path. It gives you clarity in what steps you need to take, and how you are going to prepare to take them. It doesn't have to be lengthy writing, but jotting down how you're going to proceed will help organize your thoughts, the moves you need to make, and it will save a lot of time. Research what you need to in order to accomplish this, but it will lead you to the next step in an orderly way. Accept yourself. This is important because if you don't accept yourself, no one else will either. So, if you can accept yourself, you will be accepted by others. Accepting yourself means that you have to recognize that you've done the best you can, even if you know that there is more than you can do. When you accept yourself, you'll be able to overcome your fears and be able to deal with rejection and criticism from others a lot better. You'll grow in confidence. For some, self-acceptance is the hardest thing for them to do. If you can do it, it will let you have extraordinary breakthroughs in your life. Tell everyone what you're doing. Telling everyone what you're doing is making a promise to yourself and to everyone you meet. Expressing your goal of making your first million will hold you accountable. While you're in the process of becoming wealthy, there are others who will be willing and have the ability to help you in reaching the goals you have set. They can't guess what you want to achieve. You have to tell them what your ambitions are. Tell everyone what you're working towards, and ultimately the promises you made will come to being fulfilled if enough people get involved in what you're going to achieve. Control your debt. Credit card and student loan debt consume millions of people. There are people who are middle-aged and are still paying off their student loans. Financial debt can be overwhelming, and many people anguish over paying their bills each month. They frequently think that once they pay off one bill, they'll be able to begin paying off another one. This is the wrong perspective to have, and it usually leads to failure and despair. Use the money on yourself to learn how to make your first million, rather than using your excess money on debt. Don't ignore your bills, but pay the minimum amount on bills. Be responsible for your personal finances. If you want to make money, you need to be responsible for your personal finances. Most people don't like or want to deal with their money directly, quite often leaving it in the hands of others. Studies show that as much as 76% of people don't bother to check their bank accounts every day. You can't think of having more money if you don't know what you have right now. You need to think for yourself. Millionaires rarely conform. It's not that they're striving to be different intentionally, but they're busy constructing their own path that they really don't have the time to worry about how or what other people think. They have the conviction to their goals and are able to think for themselves, which is an important trait of millionaires. They are nonconformists, and that sometimes leaves certain types of people in a snit. Make adjustments in your lifestyle. There are quite a few people who have a good deal of wealth yet don't live in what would be considered upscale neighborhoods. Throw away the idea that millionaires spend their money without thought and live in the heights of splendor. Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko, award-winning authors of the book Millionaire Next Door, found that how people became rich was surprising and not necessarily how people perceive millionaires' lives. They found that the people who drive extravagant luxury cars and have expensive homes don't really have a lot of wealth, they wrote. High salaries don't essentially translate into great net worth. The authors discovered that those who amassed the most wealth were thought to be frugal, and usually married those who were conservative in the spending habits as well. The gap between spending and income is an advantage for those who are learning how to get rich. If you think about it, you can't really build your wealth if you consistently spend all your money and put nothing aside. Even worse, you can't get to your first million if you spend more than the income you have. Get a second gig. Getting a second job will bring in additional income that you can devote most of it to savings and investing. If your primary job brings in enough income to pay your rent, utilities, and food with very little discretionary income remaining, you won't get rich. You don't have to be super smart to become a millionaire, but being creative, disciplined, and willing to work hard will help. Joy Behar, well known for her longtime co-hosting on the Emmy-winning talk show, The View, was at one time a teacher who taught remedial English in the late 1960s to early 1970s after graduating from Stony Brook University in 1966. She began her entertainment career after a divorce at the age of 40. She worked as a receptionist in the 1980s and later became a producer on Good Morning America. At the same time, she had her day jobs. She worked at doing her comedy stand-up routines at night. She was well into her second career when Barbara Walters brought her to The View, where she's now been for 17 years. Joy has kept focused and busy since she made her career change at a time when people have been in their jobs for almost 20 years. Aside from The View, she has hosted her own talk show programs on television and radio. Today, at the age of 76, Behar is a millionaire quite a few times over. Increase your profit margin. Profit margins aren't retained for businesses alone. Profit margins pertain to you as well. You can have a profit in the same way a business does by growing the gap between your income and your spending. You can use the profit to go after your continuing financial goals. In order to reach that $1 million goal, you need to increase your savings rate from 5% to 15%. If possible, save half of your income. There will be hard choices to make of postponing existing spending in exchange for financial success in the future. If there are 2 salaries supporting the household, try living on one income, while investing and saving the other income. Where do you need to be? You need to find where you should be if you want to become a millionaire. Meaning, where you are right now may not be where you need to be in order to achieve your millionaire goals. It could be on an island, or it could be in another state, or it could be right in your home office. What you need to do is find out what it is you need to do and where you need to do it. You may have to move from where you live now and not let excuses prohibit you from making the change you'll need to get where you're going. Whatever it is you need to learn in order to earn your million, do it because it will pay off in the long run. Take what excites you and make it a business. If you've had a hobby that you've been passionate about or have always had a desire for something like cooking or photography, become an expert in the field and make it a business. You'll be happy doing what you like to do and could be very successful. There may be some bumps along the way, and frankly, there's the potential to fail before you finally make that first million. Conquer the difficulties. A self-defeating mindset won't help the positive mindset you need to work towards your first million. Whenever you're faced with an obstacle or adversity, you need to take a step back and ask how it can be turned into an opportunity. Change a negative into a positive. It's important to eliminate any beliefs you may have that work against you and the goal you are trying to attain. So, if you want to make your first million, don't expect to get something for anything. Don't take on any debt by using credit cards. Buy it if you have the cash. Otherwise, forget it because you probably really don't need it. Don't think anyone owes you a living. Avoid getting distracted. Getting rich is your goal to push through past the obstacles that come your way. Get as much education as you can and learn the skills to shine and be the best in your chosen interests. Don't slack off from the learning end of your endeavors. Don't fear taking an extra gig. Forget about keeping up with whoever it is that are the Joneses to you. They're in debt with no ray of light being seen at the end of their financial tunnel. Give to others. It seems giving to others bring about reciprocity. If you can overcome difficult times or hardships and find the opportunity in them, we can be enormously richer. Develop routines that ensure progress. We always have routines, like going to the gym 3 times a week or driving a certain route each day to get to work. You need to develop a routine on how you're going to make your first million. Wishing won't get you where you want to go, but a routine will. Create routine. Set goals and then consistently track the progress that you've made. If something is not working, change it up and fix it. Adjust, improve and repeat what's working. Continue to revise, refine and modify, and put all your efforts into working hard each day to be a better you than you were yesterday. In time you'll achieve what your goals are, and then you'll develop new goals. Before you know it, you'll be a millionaire. Cool. Find a coach. You may get good advice from family and friends, but finding a coach who can mentor you and take you to the next level is one of the best investments you can make. Reading books, studying independently and watching videos is a great start, but you'll want to get a coach to help you achieve significant success. Regardless if you hire a business, fitness or life coach, someone who provides customized coaching is the difference between the amateurs and professionals. Your coach can offer knowledge that will give you extraordinary results. There will be times when you reach a point that you won't know because you just don't know. A coach will clarify the truth and will propel you into the exclusive arena of achievement, letting you create lasting success. Patience is key. No matter what path you decide to take to get rich, it will take time. Whether you start your own business and nurturing it to success or invest in the stock market where it can take years for your money to grow, the road to your first million doesn't happen overnight. Whether it's years of savings or building a business, the first million is the hardest. Remain patient, committed, and stay focused on your goal. Getting to the $1 million mark is a thoughtful commitment that necessitates great changes in the way you think and the way you've been living. If you believe that you were intended to make it happen, read everything you can about millionaires and learn what their mindsets, habits, and beliefs are. Acquire all the information you can and derive from these suggestions and use them to influence your skills, aptitude, and abilities. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.